Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers.
Right? No judging. No judging.
The millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.
OMG, baby, tell them.
Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers, Justin Fox, Vivian. So, Vivian, thank you very much for joining me on the show today.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So, Vivian, you are the owner of Thrive to Shift Marketing. You came from a negative upbringing, and you lived in sort of a small town hamlet for 6 years. You were stuck in a cashier job, even though you had a college education. Then you kind of ran into some health issues, and then you changed your mindset just to take action instead of inaction, with taking your first step, accepting your first client of a niche you never heard of before, and then you started getting testimonials, and now you run a successful digital marketing business. So Vivian, why don't we start right there? Is there anything you want to add to that?
I'm a digital marketer, but also an empowerment coach.
Perfect.
And okay. I have something called the Griffin story system. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's jump right into that. What is it? Say it again. The strip and story.
The Griffin storytelling system. DRIVEN.
Okay.
The reason I call it that is because there's actually 4 different things that we do there. The first part is, of course, it's a storytelling system. It helps you to use your story to promote your brand. Right. But at the same time, we want to make sure you have a safe place to vent out your story, because some people, when they say they want to be a speaker, when they say they want to create a program out of their mess, they are not ready. They dump their entire story on board, and it looked like unsafe for the audience and unsafe for themselves to be that way. Right. So we try to help them to pick a scene, a snapshot of the event that is going to be able to capture the story audience, tell them to resonate with the audience pain point. At the same time, able to link them to the product and service that they decide to link them with, because even the same story, they can attach to different product and service, depends on how you tell it.
Right.
And the same kind of product can be told from different angle, but it's actually the same story.
Okay.
So that's basically what it is.
Okay. So when you're talking about storytelling, are you familiar with the hero's journey? So that concept of the hero's journey?
Yeah, like the hero get into trouble and get out of trouble and bring other people across the trouble, like kind of resolve it.
Right. So what if you were to kind of walk us through, because I agree, definitely people resonate with stories, the things that kind of they can relate to in their own lives. If you could walk us through the storytelling method that you kind of teach to people to kind of get their stories across, is there a certain steps or methodology that you teach?
Well, I can give an example first, and then I talk about the step. An example is that I was on another podcast, and it was recorded on the podcast, so I can share it. The person say he go through a difficult labor experience with his wife, and he can use that to create a program to help future dad. That seems obvious, right?
Right.
He can use the same story to sell insurance product and financial product to talk about the unpredictability of life. Right. You see the same story, different angle, different attachment to the outcome, because they have different desire to profit from it, right? So that's one way to do it. The other way to see it is that can be a single mom who is a lawyer, and he can say that when he was this business owner, he actually doesn't have the time to go with his family. He doesn't even have to say he's a single mom. It's just like, oh, I don't have time to play with my kid. I realized that it's open up contract that I need to look at, and I don't really have the time to go over everything. And then I finally go chill where it's gonna help me with that, and now I'm a legal shield representative. That's just the case. Or she can like, hey, I know what you're going through. I go over divorce is ugly, but I know exactly how to deal with your custody. Like, so he doesn't have to necessarily say that she's a single mom, but she can use the same thing because everybody have different role. She can even say she's a mother.
Right.
So it was like, okay, I know you're a mother and I know you care about your kid,
Right.
but have you ever think of when you're working and your children are playing and you don't know who is actually intruding their privacy? You need to know how the law can protect your daughter from some privacy and scam.
Right.
Okay, you're a mom, you're talking about children, but you can still sell your legal thing.
Right.
It's indirect relate to you, but it's still your story. And you can create the entire calendar campaign just by doing that. Little article, little graphic, little video. Video is the best one.
Right. So, okay. So you're looking at, so if you're looking at somebody who, you're saying a lawyer, she's a single mother, she's looking at trying to associate that with her clients, is that kind of, and then she's trying to kind of associate how her clients may be going through similar circumstances, and then she's able to, and they've been in that similar type of situation you talk about in sort of divorce or other aspects around family, right? So okay, so in business that you talked, I see, in your sort of your background, you've worked, sort of in a number of different digital marketing roles. Now, obviously, with the most recent role, with it's Thrive to Shift Marketing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so do you guys work with what would be a typical client of yours? You mentioned the niche, but like, what would be a typical client? Give me sort of that persona or the caricature or whatever you want to call it of a typical client of yours.
They must have a story that they either not knowing they want to tell, or they have a story they want to tell. So, but if they're not aware they want to tell, but they do have a passion to achieve something greater than themselves. So either one, you have a passion greater than yourself, but you don't know what it is, you don't know your story, or you have a story you want to tell, but you don't know how.
Okay, so those are, that's okay. So give me an example of somebody that you worked with recently that had each of those. So one that had maybe the passion, didn't know the story, or one that had a story and they wanted to tell it. Give me sort of, do you have some examples of where maybe those types of people?
I don't have a client example, but I can say like what it typically is. So if you have a story and you don't know how to tell it, you are a new public speaker, or you have a mess you want to turn it into a business, or you have a passion to do something greater, but you don't know what it is. Okay. So it's like a new entrepreneur, aspiring coach, aspiring leader of tomorrow, aspiring charity that they want to achieve something greater, but they're not too sure. Let's say they want to open a charity, but they're not too sure what to target.
Right.
If they want to be a coach, just like life coach, they don't know what to focus on: relationship, career, whatnot, because it itself is a huge one. Then you go into the process where I try to extract your knowledge and do the assessment between your talent, your passion, your vision, and your experience, and how there is a market out there that this thing is going to overlap. Because not only you have to understand yourself, you have to understand what you're trying to do. Because some people they don't understand themselves. Some people, they don't know what
most people don't. I think most people don't understand themselves, but Okay, so your typical client would be potentially like a coach, an entrepreneur. So you're working with the people that are looking to become entrepreneurs, right? So
Yes.
what would be, or to become a life coach? It's an interesting topic. I'm sort of not overly familiar with it, but what would be, what's an example of a life coach? Like give me a day in the life of a life coach.
Okay, so a life coach, I actually do this like not technically, but people will come to you, you will notice, people come to you for certain question. Like people usually come to me when they need relationship advice.
Okay.
And so I know, or they don't come to you, but they actually appreciate your wisdom. Because I think more people were more like they appreciate my wisdom than they actually have a problem with relationship. It was like we were discussing and they noticed like, hey, I noticed you have a great post and I learned a lot about how to deal with my relationship because I looked at that. So those are the hints that you have that quality to do relationship coach. It's all about what you're already doing. So notice what you're already doing. If I'm already very health conscious, like really careful with my nutrition,
right,
then my best guess is to be a nutrition coach. And you will notice people will like your nutrition post. If you post something like, hey, check this out, I think this is an awesome thing, and you do a review just out of your own interest, like personal life. And people will be sharing with many people because they feel like you have the fire, you know what you're talking about. So usually where your genius is already in your life. You either not noticing it or you haven't really discovered it. That's all.
right. So since I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's interesting to think about. So if you're okay, so you're extracting what you're passionate about, where your maybe where your expertise lies, and then you're sort of honing in on that.
And then the next thing is like, once you know that that's your, so let's say I think that I got lots of wisdom tips about relationship. The next thing is, do I really like doing that?
Do you want to talk about that all the time, right?
So yeah, will you gonna be tired about it? Are you gonna have trouble with your friends and family because of it? Because sometimes you have no problem being a genius in the area, but when it comes to telling this to your friends and family, you're like,
right.
You don't feel that's their identity. You don't feel it that way. Let's say you're really good at nutrition science, but you never feel like you're a health coach. To tell your friends you're a health coach, to sell a multi-level marketing product based on your knowledge, but not based on your heart.
Right.
Doesn't work.
Okay,
Your heart has to feel right.
So does a lot of this deal with sort of MLM type products? I that was my next question, is I guess, how do you monetize that experience or that genius or that those capabilities?
So one way is MLM, definitely.
Yeah.
And the other way is affiliate marketing. But ultimately, what is going to make it successful is that you are the product of the product. If you are going to turn your wisdom into a book, then you must try those things before. You have to be able to document it on your Instagram, your YouTube, so that people see you as the icon. There's no doubt what you're talking about. And then if you cannot do that, you're selling MLM affiliate marketing, it's not your own product, right? Then you must be able to articulate how they're good. Let's say I'm not a health coach, but I really like shop.com product. I can tell you from my personal result what I'm getting for detox. And I may sell a couple of them because people trust me, because they know I have been trying to fix my tummy problem. Just for example. The other example where you're not an expert, but from your personal experience, you can repeat the story over and over again, either on your podcast, when you interview, or when you're doing a public speaking to talk about exactly how shop.com saved your life.
Right.
And then that becomes the one talk that you repeat all the time. You know, Tony Robbins repeat his pitch all the time.
Right.
The difference is Tony Robbins selling his own product. You're talking about an M&M product or an affiliate product.
Interesting.
But
Cool.
if you have your own product, that's the best, right?
Yeah. So I guess that's the question. How would you go about building up your own product? Is that a possibility, like aside from affiliate marketing and or
what
MLM?
happens is that if you want to build your own product in a cheap way, it'll be information product. Something
Like
that
in a
you
course
can
or
teach
education?
in a video live meeting, like a summit or something, or Facebook Live or Facebook group, something they can subscribe to regularly, that you can easily create it so that it can scale it. And there's a way you can create your content. So I have a software where I actually use it to draft out my video outline. And so I create each video this way. But then before I create the video, I have a list of the critical path. So first of all, you have to identify the critical path, right? If I say, if I want to lose 10 pounds, how can I get it? There must be a critical path. So you have to identify it. Well, first of all, you have to know what type of body type I am, right?
Right.
And then you have to know like what is my eating appetite. And you have to know my, what's that called? The medical record. And you have to know like about my exercise regime. So those are the thing. I already talked about couple. Each of them can be a courses, but you can say, you know, this is the critical path. The entry level one, the one that sell like $7. Like, if you want to know your critical path, you can get the full critical path here. Is only $7. Right. That's the entry level of your funnel. But that's how you create it. You create one step at a time. You have an overall that talk about the critical path, and then you have the individual session detail about the critical path. That way you can build multiple products and you can easily reuse your content into a webinar or, you know, a campaign or something like that.
Right.
People won't even notice because you have so many different variety of things.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you joining me on the show today, Vivian. Where can people find you?
They can find me by going to www.vivianso.com, vivianso.com.
Okay.
And it's S for Sam, O for Orange. And you have to type www in front of vivianso.com because if you don't do that, it won't go to the right site. And that's my main website. But if you really want to have a look at you know, what I did with my lead magnet using my own story, you can go to story.vivianso.com and get your own free ebook download.
Perfect. So check out, and then also on LinkedIn. Are you on any other social media like Instagram or anywhere else?
Oh yeah, on my LinkedIn username is just Vivian So, and on my Instagram, my username handle is Vivian So 83.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, everyone else, this is Justin Fox, Vivian So. It's One Take, powered by backers. Vivian, I really appreciate you joining me. Look forward to seeing you and some of the posts that you make. Thank you very much.
I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Thanks. Enjoy your day. Everyone else, I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye. Hey there. Welcome to One Take, powered by backers. Right?
No judging.
Yeah.
No judging.
The millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.
OMG, baby.